Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Moscow Outskirts. Our heroes today are going to be VindicareX, playing for the Soviets, and mmortal, playing for the Germans, or the Austere. So, Moscow Outskirts, it's the first time we've casted in this map. I've played it on it, I like it, it's quite open. Although, well, much like most maps, they are generally speaking lanes, but the spaces in here are relatively open. There are covers, but there's a lot of ways to flank around. There's houses, including church in the middle by the victory points. Victory points are spread out, 3 across. And we have 1 fuel on each of the edges. Other than that, the center is pretty much full of strategic points, 6 in total. So it's pretty even out, no real advantage for any side that we can tell so far. Pretty balanced map. But in any case, we see the Soviet player building 2 conscripts off the bat. Pretty standard. Usually you see at least 3 and then something different. More conscripts if he's going conscript heavy, or maybe an engineer if he's going to get those M3s, the usual. And as far as the German players, we see he brought out a grenadier squad and has also recently made a machine gun, and there he goes. Both players are relatively spreading out. We see the German player sending his grenadiers up to the north and the engineers down to the south. Likewise, we see the engineers from the Soviet player down at the south and his conscripts going north, although the initial squad did go towards the center. No engagements so far. These engineers are probably going to meet at this victory point. It's going to be the first engagement, and we see another grenadier squad coming out or being built for the German player. The pioneers apparently saw the engineers here, and they changed direction. They took a couple shots. They have been damaged, but, well, nothing great so far. Victory point is captured, and the Soviet engineers do get into heavy cover, so these pioneers are going to have a bad time about it. They do have SMGs and are now in heavy cover, so I'm not sure who actually wins this. I would assume the pioneers because they have the SMGs, but they did take some shots first, so it's possible, yeah, they're going to be pushed away by the engineers. So, nothing been built so far by anybody really. They're just moving around, camping, no other engagements. We do see the conscripts in the middle uraying for the church. I think he knows that it's about to be capped, and he's going to try to get it denied. And there we go. By jumping in the house, it denies the machine gun from this emplacement. And the other, not grenadiers, conscripts, ura, and are chasing after that MG. The one thing to keep in mind with ura is that your units cannot fire while ura. They are sprinting. They're running full sprint, and because of that, they cannot fire what they're chasing, but obviously, well, they can catch up pretty easily. And in this case, they are not going to be getting behind it, but they do manage to lob a Molotov, which is going to make that machine gun pack up. He did not retreat it, and is going to be garrisoning it into this building very smartly. So that is going to, or not. Well, the mechanic is a little weird. I guess they all have to be near the door for them to get in, which makes sense, but that's fine. So he gets that machine gun into the house. It is poking out of that window right there, and it's going to start shooting at these conscripts in a second. There we go. They are in heavy cover, but the angle, I believe, probably negates that. So that is why they got suppressed. Another Molotov goes into the house, so they are going to be getting out of there. They're right behind the house. Still not retreated, which is good preservation of the units on the field, but they are heavily damaged, so they're going to be going down rather fast as small arms fire, if not careful. Conscript squad, I'm not sure if it's being shot. Oh yeah, it is going to get shot by that machine gun. And there they go, they get suppressed, and they should be getting off the field rather soon. Aside from that, we see no additional tech for the Soviet player. He still only has 2 conscripts and those engineers. He did build Molotovs, or research that is, which, well, is good. He also got field infirmary, which is going to help keep his infantry in top shape, which is also good, although usually you would see a little bit more infantry on the field before you, before you get that. But that's not to say it's bad, it's good. It's going to allow him to keep those conscripts on the field even longer once they retreat for the first time. And yeah, you can see the squad is at full health, which is good. We do see a tier 2, yeah, tier 2 coming up for the Soviet player. And, well, probably going to get himself either mortar or his own set of machine guns, I would assume. No real need for AT guns right now. I mean, it's only 5 minutes and we see no vehicles on the field. As far as the German player, he just finished building his mechanized company, which is, I believe, the tier 2. Well, yeah, tier 2. Not sure what he's going to be getting from that. He is going to be getting a half-track. There we go. So, for the German player, we do see 3 grenadier squads on the field now, 2 machine guns, and a coming up half-track, which is going to help to reinforce on the field, and probably going to get those Flammenwerfers to, well, beat up the Soviet infantry. We do see a mortar coming from the Soviet player, hitting the field right now, which is a good option considering that he already saw that he has 2 machine guns. And, well, the mortar is going to be able to displace those machine guns quite easily if he doesn't move them around. This one is going to get Molotov, which is currently at very low health, even though it has 4 people, so it should take some losses. Yeah, 2 immediately catch on fire, a third one catches on fire, and this last one manages to run out of there. That is the problem when you have low health squads, even though you didn't lose any units. If you see a squad that hasn't lost any units but is at half health, those units are going to die very fast. In any case, here in the south, we do see grenadiers moving up and taking the fuel point from the Soviet player, while the engineers cap the rear. The mortar is set up in position and is taking shots at these grenadiers, while these engineers come up and try to stop the cap, which they manage to do. And if they don't move, these grenadiers, this mortar is actually going to make it so that these engineers can win. Usually, well, not usually, always, on a one-on-one, grenadiers are going to beat Soviet engineers. But yeah, he manages to make them back off the point, so the point is going to be capped back again for the Soviet player. Meanwhile, over here on the north side, we do see conscripts having to retreat because the Flammenwerfer hit the field, supported by a grenadier squad and another grenadier squad behind it, so that's 2. That is pretty much nothing he can do about it. We do see a Maxim machine gun squad on the field for the Soviet player. That's good. It's going to allow him to have some type of support, but it is currently on its own, and if this Flammenwerfer catches it outside, it's gonna, well, it's gonna heavily damage it. It is going for the mortar, which he was aware of, but the mortar quickly notices and retreats. He's probably gonna take some damage, but nothing's, you know, nothing serious considering he's right at this base and he has medics. Nothing to worry about. The Maxim machine gun does manage to make a grenadier squad retreat, but is currently getting suppressed by the MG42 set up in the church. I believe if he moves over here, he's not gonna have to worry about that. Now, this machine gun is currently set up and viewing. I'm not sure if you get pinned, does the Maxim machine gun actually keep shooting? That would be quite interesting to know. I haven't tested it out myself. We see the Flammenwerfer catching another conscript squad in the open. He does take an 18-8 to the face, which is going to make him very slow, and should allow the conscript squad to get out of there. However, it is currently reversing in its retreat path and making it very difficult for them to get out of there. Did take 2 members lost, but they do manage to run around it and are now going to make it safe back at home. As far as the map controls, though, we do see the map being heavily controlled by the German player now, and yeah, the Soviet player is kind of on the back foot. He did build an AT gun, which is currently in the middle of the map, to try to, well, deter this Flammenwerfer from just simply running up and, you know, kicking his infantry's ass, because while 18-8s are great, Flammenwerfers don't go down to 18-8s that fast, as opposed to maybe a scout car. And, well, you would have to spend a lot of 18-8s to be able to take it down, at least effectively, before it damages you a lot, because even though you nade it, that flamethrower is going to still be going to town on you. Anyways, we do see a conscript squad get down to 1 man before it retreated, threw a Molotov here point blank, and I think took some damage by itself. But it is Panzer Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers are going to beat conscripts pretty much always. You do have to upgrade them with Hit the Dirt and PPSA just to be able to kinda, you know, go 1-to-1, but even then, if you don't have veterancy, you still lose out to Panzer Grenadiers most of the time. But well, not a problem. We do see the Soviet player Vindicare currently using this AT gun's artillery rounds, light artillery barrage. He was shooting it at the machine gun that was set up on the destroyed truck here, and it did. Well, it didn't make a retreat, but it did manage to get it to, well, back off from there. So as far as field presence, we don't see a lot of field presence for the Soviet player. He is currently in the back foot. He has, well, only 2 conscripts. I mean, I think that's probably why he doesn't have a lot of territory, because he only built 2 conscript squads at the beginning. And while you can get better infantry, obviously, well, I mean, you'd lose the ability to capture the map because you don't have a lot of squads on the field. So that's, I guess, to be expected. Maybe he is taking that into account with the strategy that he's going for. We do see him go for I forget what this commander is called, but it's the one that gives you the IS-2 and the T-34-85 Collins. So we're not going to see any elite infantry, you know, no guard squads, no shock troops, no hit the dirt on conscripts. So maybe that's why he only got 2, because he wasn't planning on using hit the dirt, but still wanted some infantry, you know, to have on the field, and especially for those 18-8s. So we see the Flammenwerfer coming up and starting to wreak havoc on this infantry. The AT gun is currently out of position and not able to take shots onto that Flammenwerfer. He does take an 18-8 to the face, which makes him slow, but I don't think this AT gun is going to be able to get into position to hit him. So he's just going to move out of the way and, well, take the loss. So the engineers built a mine here. That's good. Mines are always good to have. And we do see the conscripts moving up. It's Vet 2 conscripts, so that's going to beat out these Vet 1 engineers, no problem. And he does have support of engineers back, a little bit back, so no problems there. We do see that a fuel, was it a fuel? How do I check this? Yeah, fuel cache. So we see a fuel cache being built on this strategic point down here at the south. It is fairly common to see some type of weapons cache or fuel cache being constructed on this point, because it is normally rather out of the way. Sometimes it's even ignored, and it's right next to the base. So yeah, I mean, usually when I fought in this map, I see that the enemy always built something at this point, because you know, it's fairly out of the way. You could potentially build something over here, but it is cut offable by this, so that's probably why they just go for this one, because this one is usually going to be in your possession. In any case, we see another mortar and another Maxim machine gun for the Soviet player on the field. He's going heavy weapons support here. And we see, well, not a lot from the German player. He's only built that Panzer Grenadier, and he did end up getting, what do you call it, sorry, Panzerschrecks, for those, I guess, expecting some type of vehicle, but we still don't see any vehicles for the Soviet player, so maybe he jumped the gun a little bit in getting that upgrade. Pretty sure it should reduce your anti-infantry capabilities significantly. I mean, obviously you can get those lucky shots that hit an infantry dead on and, you know, kill it, but yeah, I mean, you're losing 2 assault rifles just by getting those Panzerschrecks. Because you do get 2. I'm not sure if you can actually get individuals, but well, he has 2. So in any case, we do see a Flak Panzer, what do you call it? Yeah, the Flak Panzer coming out for the Soviet player, which is probably going to get a hurt on the Soviet player. I think I said Soviet player before, right? Well, anyways, the German player is getting a Flak Panzer. Gonna hit the field in a couple of seconds now, and well, he doesn't really have anything to answer it. He does have this AT gun, which should be able to keep it at bay as long as he has some conscripts nearby to be able to 18-8 it. Otherwise, he can simply circle strafe it, and well, with the rate of fire of a Flak Panzer, the Ostwind is well, gonna kill that AT gun. Also, as far as tech, we still don't see anything. We just see tier 2, and that's it. He does have the ability to call in T-34s and the IS-2, which, well, I mean, I suppose would work instead of needing to tech, but he does need 260 fuel to be able to call two T-3485s, or 300 fuel to get an IS-2 heavy tank. So, I mean, it's an option, but it's not a fast one. So he has to get at least another AT gun, which he is doing right now, which is great because that Oswald needs to be kept in check. With two AT guns and 18-8s, yeah, that Oswald should not be able to do much unless he is caught out of position, of course, and well, in which case it's gonna be ugly. So as far as the map, the German player Immortal is currently capping, well, the rest of the map again. The Soviet player doesn't have a lot of capping ability. He only has two conscript squads, and while you can cap with, you know, weapon support teams because you don't need to actually be at the flag, it's quite difficult. And here we see the Maxim machine gun being caught out in the open in a victory point by the Flak Panzer, which is currently chasing it. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to make it out. One man, and he makes it. Wow, that is one lucky soldier. Running like hell with that cart wheel or wheelbarrow. I mean, I know it's a machine gun, but look at that. Wheels and everything. That must suck to have to run away while still carrying that. But, well, he made it out, so he didn't lose that machine gun, thankfully. He does have 3 Maxim machine guns on the field now, 2 mortars, 2 conscripts, 1 engineer, and 2 AT guns. So he does have a lot of field presence as far as units, but his capping power is not that much because usually you want mobile infantry to be able to cap. Weapon support teams, like I said, they can cap, but they are not the best at doing it because it, well, they're a little bit more exposed. You can use them to back cap other stuff, but usually if you're going to go for the front, you want your infantry there. But, yeah, we do see that the German player Immortal used the Flak Panzer to take down the weapons cache down here at the south, and is currently capping that point. We do see an engagement up here north of the church. There is 2 grenadiers that are currently upgraded with, I believe those are Gewehrs. And, yeah. And they're currently kicking ass, but, well, actually they're not doing that much damage. They are at range, which is still good, but this one is not currently in range of this squad, so they're only taking shots like this, and I don't think they're even in view of each other. And there we go. He has to move up, and he's now in range. Although he does have this mortar shooting in support, which is great. We do see another engagement here on the southern edge, but the Flak Panzer is going to make them retreat rather quick. We do have a mortar taking shots at these infantry, but they're all moving around, so it's going to be very difficult for this mortar to get a shot in. Still at 0 kills so far. We do see, let's see, this one has 3. So the mortars haven't been that effective, but they have been effective in making the enemy move. He's not being able to trench, you know, fortify a position and make it difficult for this guy to move. We do see that the Flak Panzer took an 18-8 and is currently damaged on the engine. And we do see an AT gun being moved into position to shoot at it. He should start retreating it, but I'm guessing he doesn't see the AT gun. He's taking shots at the Maxim machine gun, but he's moving up now, or well, moving off now, but this AT gun is going to be able to take at least 2 shots. No, he manages to get off range, so only 1 shot taken. He is down to about 75% health. Over here we see a bundle grenade by the Panzer Grenadiers, missing this mortar squad, I guess completely. I mean, it's only down 1 man. Not sure if it was down before that, but these Panzer Grenadiers are only 2 men, and they have Panzer Shreks, so it reduces their anti-infantry capabilities. I still think he should have waited for the upgrade on that one. I mean, it's very easy to just keep them, save the munitions, you know, keep your munitions levels to be able to get that upgrade immediately. If you see a vehicle on the field, just click that button, hold them off for a little bit, and then you get it. But, well, regardless. We do see a Panzer IV on the field for the German player Immortal, and he is currently capping the north. This Panzer IV, again, is not really going to be contested. He does have his AT guns, which are going to keep it at bay, but he now has 2 pieces of armor. If he gets this one repaired and back into full full functionality without that damaged engine. He could potentially take out those guns, but it is still a rather risky maneuver. You could end up losing some armor, and if it doesn't go your way, you could lose both your tanks. We do see a Maxim machine gun being taken out in the north. It was being moved around. I'm not sure if to cap or to flank, but it did run into the flak panzer, which tore it up and well, destroyed it. So we're down to 2 Maxim machine guns for the Soviet player. One of them is currently heavily damaged, but it's still being used to well, keep the fuel point for the Soviet player, which he does need a lot of fuel. We do see that he's banking a lot of manpower and munitions. I'm assuming, well, I mean, he's still a whole point off of this. He could get, you know, a pair of T-34s to have some armor on the field. That combined with the AT guns, I mean, should be able to keep the German player at bay. It potentially even killing some of its armor if it catches it out of position. The 85s have a more powerful gun, so it's a lot more effective than your normal T-34s, you know, against tanks. But, well, he's not doing much with his manpower right now, which is not always good. I mean, that's 1,300 manpower that you could have been using into something else. Usually, I don't think anything requires, you know, that much manpower. 720, 680 for these Collins. But, well, maybe he's waiting for the IS-2, but the problem is his victory points. He doesn't, not victory points, command points. He doesn't have it there. And we also see his victory points, speaking of that, already ticked down to 150 points. So it's starting to get a little bit grim for the Soviet player. Got an engagement in the middle. These Panzer Grenadiers with the Panzer Shreks are really not doing anything. These guys are currently being wasted because he got the Panzer Shreks, and there's no armor for them to actually shoot at. You saw them being in front of the infantry and not really doing anything. You can get some lucky shots sometimes, but that's about it. The machine guns and mortars are, well, being rather effective at helping the Soviet player keep his position, but we do see that the flak panzer got repaired and is currently on a flanking run. We do have this AT gun and this one pointing in this direction, so if he comes up behind it, it slides out for this one real quick, but he didn't go all the way behind. He's going in this angle, which is not going to work in his favor. Obviously, he can't see where the guns are, so it's not, you know, it's not a mistake on his end. I mean, usually not a good idea to run your armor right in front of the, you know, enemy base. Yeah, it's not a good idea. But anyways, okay, so he goes and makes the mortar retreat. No additional kills. We do see another Maxim machine gun being produced and an engineer squad being produced. I guess he saw that he had way too much manpower, so he decided to spend it. I would have recommended probably this, but, well, I'm assuming he wants to keep his fuel. I can only think about the IS-2 because he doesn't have any other, you know, tiers coming up here. We do see the German player trying to go for a killing run on the flak panzer into the base, but the AT gun was back at base, getting reinforced. But, I mean, he only got one shot off, and he's trying to run over some infantry, I think. But if he doesn't get out of there real quick, he is going to lose this tank. We do see another AT gun being positioned, and he manages to make it out of there, just barely. Wow, that was lucky. Thankfully, he used the Blitzkrieg, I think it's called. The Blitz, it's makes it, it's basically sprint for your tanks, but yeah, it's a an acceleration ability that you get at Vet 1 for the tanks, and it allowed him to get himself out of there. So, unfortunately for the Soviet player, he didn't manage to get this flak panzer down. It would have been a good victory there. And we see a second Panzer IV for the German player. And, well, he needs to get something on the field, which he got. He got an IS-2 on the field. This is a heavy tank. The description says, named for Joseph Stalin himself. The IS-2 marries a heavy but slow-firing 122mm gun with a squat shape and a good armor envelope that adds great survivability. Basically, it's a heavy tank, so this one is going to destroy Panzer IVs if it crosses them. Look at that. A quarter health in one shot. This could be just what the Soviet player needed. I think the German player squandered his advantage. He should have maybe made a push earlier because, yeah, I mean, the Panzer IV has not even damaged the ISU yet. He's just getting bounces off of that armor. It's a heavy armor tank. And, well, the IS-2 is missing. There we go. We got some penetration from Panzer IV. But, yeah, I think this Panzer IV is done for. He does get Vet 1, but, well, who cares about Vet when you're dead, right? He does manage to get some good shots into the IS-2 and bring it to about 75% health. But one more shot and that Panzer IV is dead. We do see a confrontation in the center. He decided to flank with his Panzer IV, get some shots into those weapon squads. But he does have two AT guns currently aimed at that Panzer IV. And a third one, which is apparently a pack. Yeah, I guess the German player lost his pack, got recruited, and is currently being sent back to base, probably going to be reinforced. IS-2 goes into the middle and starts, well, taking some shots really by the Panzer Shreks, although one shot directly kills one of the Panzer Grenadiers. And this Vet 3 conscript squad, both conscripts are Vet 3, they're going to have a lot of staying power now. We do see that one of the mortars was lost. What is this over here? Another mortar. So both mortars, actually. Yeah. Both mortars were lost for the Soviet player. But, well, he does have the IS-2, which is going to help him have some very strong field presence. But his points are currently down to 29, so he needs to get capping right away. Otherwise, he is, well, he's going to lose. Down to 25, down to 21. He has decapped this point in the north, down to 19, and he has decapped all 3 points. Wow, he manages to get that stop at 19 points. Cutting it close, man, cutting it close. But yeah, that IS-2 was a lifesaver. It is currently down to about 25% health, so it needs to get repaired by all 3 of these engineers, I would say, to get it back into fighting stance right away. As far as the German player, we see no armor. He does have this Flak Panzer somewhere in the field, probably back at base. No? Where is it? Hello, Flak Panzer. I can't see it. Huh. Am I blind? Sure. Over here? No? Over here? There he is. He sent it all the way to the north. Probably didn't want that IS-2 chasing after it. And is currently being repaired by those Pioneers. He only has one squad of Pioneers, so it's going to take a while to get it repaired. But, well, for him, at least, that's a good sign. Not sign, but a good thing that he still has some type of armor on the field. It's not going to be able to do anything against the IS-2. But if he uses it smartly on the edges, you know, cut through here, then bring it back, and go the other way, it'll probably be good. Now, as far as the map, we do see the Soviet player, well, pretty much taking the entire map now. We do see the Sturmovik attacks, the IL-2 being used in this position. Yeah, it goes ahead and rips to shred the Panzer Grenadiers for the German player. The ones with the Panzer Shreks, but it didn't drop a usable one, unfortunately. And there we go, another shot onto these infantries. The Grenadiers have to get out of there. These conscripts are Vet 3, so they're going to be able to go toe-to-toe against these Grenadiers. If he uses a Molotov, that's also going to be able to get him out of there, which he's probably going to do considering that he's moving up. And there we go, Molotov getting lobbed out. He does see it though, he's going to move out of the way, but since he has to move out of the way, he is being taken shots just in the open. MG42 though moves into position to shoot at the conscripts, so that's going to make him retreat. So he was able to keep his cool, keep the squad in there, so he's going to be able to recap that victory point. He still has 343 points in his name, so not that much to worry about yet. He does need to get some AT guns, which he only currently has one pack, and some armor on the field. Although he could potentially just go infantry to, you know, in a way negate what this heavy tank can do, because I believe it's not that great against infantry. I mean, it's good, but it's not, you know, an anti-infantry tank. But the Soviet player does have a lot of infantry on the field, especially a lot of support weapons. 3 Maxim machine guns, 2 mortars. So yeah, there's also a Maxim machine gun on the floor over here that nobody decided to pick up. But yeah, I guess that's fine. Nobody wants it. So anyways, we see a we see the Flak Panzer being caught out by the IS-2. He's currently retreating towards the enemy, which is not going to be the best option for him, so he's not going to be able to get away. If he runs for it right now, maybe hits that speed boost and, you know, runs around, he might be able to make it out alive. We do see a Maxim machine gun, though, being taken out by pair of grenadiers and the engineers. Sorry, the pioneers. They are not capping the machine gun. I guess they don't really want it. They wanted to cap that victory point to get those points going in his favor now. If he manages to cap this, he should be able to tick down the Soviet player even further, which is currently down at 19 points. But the IL-2 manages to... Wow. Okay, well, the IS-2 manages to chase him off, and I think there was a mine here from the Soviet player, because they just exploded, and I don't think they had anything to be explodable. In any case, we have the Flak Panzer going straight into the middle of all the infantry. It's trying to circle strafe. No, it just went through, but it has a damaged engine now, and 3 AT guns looking at it. I don't think it's going to make it out of there. Nope. There we go. The pack, stolen pack 40, takes a shot into the butt and takes him out. There is a machine gun here, kind of in the flank, but there's no infantry presence to take advantage of that. So the Soviet player manages to recap this point. It's getting the tank repaired, which is currently going to be assaulted by a Panzer IV and an AT gun, but I don't think it has anything to worry about. That gun, there we go, it killed that AT gun right off the bat, so the Panzer IV on its own is not going to be able to do much. Even circle strafing, it has a turret, it's not going to be able to circle strafe it that great. And yeah, I think that Panzer IV is done for. We do see another Sturmovik strafing run being called in to help out with this engagement, because the AT gun got recrewed and is currently taking pot shots at this IS-2. Panzer IV is almost dead now, and one more shot should do it, especially if it's in the butt. Oh, he misses. But the strafing run did get the AT gun out of commission, so all he needs to do is get this tank and he should be clear. He is out of visual range. He is getting a artillery strike on him. How much damage would it do? Boom, boom. Nothing. And the engineers die. And that's it. Oh, well, I can see why. The Soviet player called in a pair of T-34s and sent them straight into the enemy base. Well, let's get away from that sound. The German player did have a Panzer IV. We'll just look at it from afar. We'll do it like this. There we go. The German player had a Panzer IV in the base, but like I said, the T-34 call-ins have a stronger gun than the standard T-34s you can build. So they should be able to take care of that Panzer IV with no problems. You know, if they start getting into problems, they can just ram. And he had no AT guns. So yeah, I can see why he called it there, because he wasn't going to be able to do anything. He had already lost his Panzer tricks on those Panzer Grenadiers, which I maintain that they were wasted. He got that upgrade too quickly, too soon. He should have held on to those. They would have been able to clear out a lot of the weapon teams from the from the Soviet. Like when he went here and there was the mortar team, since he only had 2 machine guns, assault rifles on that squad, you know, didn't do a lot of damage. But in any case, I mean, sometimes you have your build order and you get it because you think that some things are going to hit the field. It is not usual, I guess you would say, for the Soviet player to not tech to anything other than tech, tier 2. Usually you go tier 2 and to tier 3, or tier 2 to tier 4, and you see either T-34s or the Su-85s on the field. And those would hit a lot sooner than the than the IS-2 tank hit. So you know, it made sense, I guess you could say. But you know, it's one of those things that with practice you could probably hold off on getting it right off the bat until you see that you need it. But regardless, it was a great comeback from the Soviet player. He was down to 19 points. So VindicareX, great job. It is tough to hold a game at those points because if you slip up, it is very easy to get ticked down from there. And the German player still had 300 points, so it was possible for him to come back. But yeah, those C-34s into his base were well, the great demotivational that he needed, and it ended up making him having to quit out. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any positive or negative remarks, leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any replays you want to send them, go ahead and send them. I'll leave the email in the comments below, and I'll see if I can do a good job at getting those casts. In any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.